It's fantastic to be here. And look, how lovely to start, as we heard at the beginning of Mass, with this beautiful feast of Our Lady, Queen and Mother. We're not alone. We're a family, as we heard just before Mass. And Mary is our spiritual mother, and she's here to love us and to support us and to help us to know one another and the Church, and above all, to help us to know her Son, Jesus. And when I say it's fantastic to be here, what I really mean is it's fantastic to get here. To get here, here's a statistic. 95% of the battle is already won just by getting here. Right, this is a fact, right? I have the evidence for this. 95% of the battle, the struggle, the cost of a retreat, a festival, a prayer is won just by having got here. We're here, and everything else is easy and will just happen as long as we stay here. I'll get onto that in a minute. Think of the things that could have got in the way and maybe nearly stopped you coming, and maybe have stopped others coming. Oh, I forgot there was a festival. This is what someone is saying tomorrow morning. No one reminded me. Did another festival pop up into your Facebook feed that looked even more interesting? Something very shiny. Did a job interview come along? Did your cat die? Did you have a panic attack last night thinking they're all going to be crazy, I won't know anyone, they're too religious, everyone will hate me? Yes? Reasons not to come. And even coming here, there are 75 cars with punctures up the motorways leading to Walsingham. Well, sorry, there aren't any motorways leading to Walsingham, but motorways around the UK. We're here. Well done. Congratulations. And even those who've got here, maybe you're still thinking, what am I doing here? Because some of you I know were bribed to come here. This is very common at Youth 2000. Yeah? 3 of you, I'm guessing, someone said to you, if you come to Walsingham, I will marry you. And you believed them, and they held your hand on the coach up here, and when you got to Swaffham, when it was too late, they looked at you and said, only joking. The parental pressure, the bribes, I'll put you on my car insurance if you come to Walsingham. Yeah. The fake news, the social media brainwashing that's been spewing out from the Youth 2000 team for the last 3 weeks. Yeah? Like an Eastern European conspiracy. Like the Apollo 11 moon landing. Did it really take place, or was it staged in an Arizonan desert? And here you are, not in a desert in Arizona, but in a field in Norfolk, and you're thinking, it doesn't look exactly like they put on those Facebook posts. So if you're feeling that you're in the wrong place now, the terror, the panic, get me out of here, let me just give you one very simple word of reassurance, really. This is it. There is nowhere to go. There is nowhere to go. This is why Our Lady chose Walsingham 1,000 years ago. Because once you're here, you cannot get away. Try getting a train from Walsingham. Up. Try getting a bus from Walsingham. Try getting a taxi. Try getting an Uber. Try walking. Really, try walking out of Walsingham tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning for breakfast. So, we've done 95% of the work. 5% remains. That's what we need to do. It's easy. And let's take as our model Our Lady, Mary, the Virgin Mary, from this wonderful reading of the Annunciation when the angel Gabriel came to her. It's very simple. what Our Lady shows us is all we need to do is to be open. To be open. Really to be open to everything. To this place, this holy place. To this festival, to the programme, the timetable, the friendships, the food, the events. And above all, to be open to the people, to God, and to yourself. How often we're not even open to what's going on in our own hearts and minds. The questions, the worries, the joys, the dreams. And today, for the next 5 days, we have this openness. Of course there's some fears and anxieties. I'm joking about being trapped here. It's true, I'm joking, but we have those fears and anxieties, many of us. We have excitements and expectations, but within everything, an image of Mary at the Annunciation being open to God through the message of the angel. But just be careful with this word. To be open does not mean to be ready. I'll say that again. To be open does not mean to be ready. Because sometimes we muddle up these two ideas. We think we have to be ready. And then, because we're clearly not, we worry and panic and run away from whatever it is, or from Walsingham. We're not ready for God, for this festival. I'm not ready to go to confession. I'm not ready for a life-changing encounter. I'm not ready to talk to that person over there. The not being ready creates all these worries and these excuses. It doesn't matter. Mary at the Annunciation is not, inverted commas, ready. Can you imagine if she was? Can you imagine her sitting there thinking, okay, I've been working at this for a while. Now it's the 25th of March, 0 AD, and I think, I'm finally ready to be the Mother of God. I'm feeling good about this. Let's go for it. Bring on the angel. Bring it on. Yeah? This is crazy. And in fact, some of the beautiful Renaissance and medieval paintings, they tie us into this muddle. Very often in these beautiful paintings, you see Mary meeting the angel, and what's she doing? She's praying or she's reading. She's praying. Oh, she's really holy. She is holy. Underlining that. But as if she's got everything completely ready. Or she's reading as if she's done her homework. Yeah? She's reading an instruction manual. How to be the Mother of God. She closes the book and the angel comes. No. Mary is open. Mary is open. She's waiting. She's free. She's pure. She's willing. In ordinary human language, she's not ready. She's feeling confused and muddled. She's full of questions when the angel comes. Quite rightly, she's feeling her own inadequacy. She's wondering where this is going and how it will work. She's open, but unready. And because she's so open, she knows that God will help her to be ready for the next thing at just the right time, and maybe not before. Mary shows us what it means to be open to the Lord. And when you're open to the Lord, completely transparent, we'll never have the purity or the transparency of heart that Mary had, but with God's grace we can have some of it. The gift of baptism and the willingness of our own hearts to be open to the Lord. My favourite image was not from a medieval painting, it's from a children's book I had. Mary, when the angel came, what was she doing? She was hanging the washing out to dry. The sheets were billowing in the wind, and as she put the last peg on, she saw the angel, and the wings were flapping and getting tangled in the washing. It's beautiful. She was just being herself, and she was open to anything and everything, and because of that, she could say yes when the angel came. So let's be open this weekend. And look, it needs to be a little bit practical, so just 3 tips. How to make this a successful weekend, how to do our 5%, given that God has done the 95% and got us here. Okay, tip number 1, we are going to talk to strangers. Whew. Okay, deep breaths. Now look, I know in the north they do this, don't they? Who's from the north here? Yeah? I'm talking to the southerners now. The northerners can just be open and pray for a minute. They do this thing in the north on buses where they talk to strangers. Whew. It's amazing. And down in London, in the south where I'm from, if you're pregnant, you have a baby on board badge, yeah? On the tube. You have a little badge saying baby on board, so that when someone sees you, they can go, oh, how cute, and then they can sit down in the chair next to you. That was a joke. Yeah? The baby on board, so people can offer seats. Well, someone got it into their head to produce some talk to me badges for the London Underground. Yeah? Crazy. And you know what happened? 1 or 2 people went on the tube with these talk to me badges, and everyone walked to the other end of the tube carriages, yeah? And they were sitting alone. But this is not London, this is Walsingham, thank God. And this weekend we are going to talk to strangers. When we walk out of that tent, when we're in the queue at the dining table, when we're sitting there minding our own business, we are going to mind someone else's business. We're going to take a risk. It is not socially acceptable, but I'm giving you permission. Okay? And I'm giving you an order. Talk to strangers. Secondly, the second tip, I'm doing that American, all beginning with the same letter thing here. Second tip is turn up. Turn up. We have a programme. Now look, I know this is a thing your grandparents did, yeah? It's called a diary, yeah? And it's got different times for different dates with events when you turn up because it's in the diary, yeah? I know that for you, yes means maybe, and maybe means no, and most of the students that I live with, they do this thing. They say, do you want to do this? And their answer is, yes, no. They say to you, yes, no, are you coming tonight? Oh, no, yes. Yeah. But today, for the next 5 days, when we see something in the programme, it's going to be yes, yes. We're going to turn up. Because I'm asking you to trust the programme. Yeah? Trust the programme, trust our wonderful leaders. This is an incredible weekend we have ahead of us. And it's carefully engineered. Micromanaged, in fact. Yeah? So let's make the most. And part of our openness is being open to this amazing programme and making the most of the tents and the events and the discussion groups and the plenaries and the prayers and the masses and the free time. Turn up and get with the programme, as they say. And the third and the final T. Let's make time for God. To give Him time. Not just to be with the crowd, not just to be faithful to the programme, but those little, quiet, personal moments. Tell Him what is on your mind and your heart. We heard beautifully just before Mass that He loves you, not just because He ought to love you because He's God, but because He loves you passionately because of who you are, and He likes you, and He wants to be with you. And for us to give Him that time and to give Him that openness of heart within that time, just as Mary did. The first question that Mary asked the angel was, how can this be? And if your question in that quiet moment with God is, how can this be? What is my life? Who am I? Who are you? To bring these questions to God and to know that over this very, very special time He is going to answer them. So we are talking to strangers, we are turning up, and we are making time for God. We are not ready for this. We are not ready, but we are here, and it is amazing to be here. And all we need is to stay here and to have that openness of heart to him and to each other, and he will surely, surely bless us. Amen.